Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and insert an instrument track. So, all right, default TTS. Now, looking at my inputs, you can see that it says all inputs, MIDI Omni, Impact, which is the controller that I use. If you're not familiar with that, the link for that is in the description below. You can check it out. It's made by Nectar. And then I have the MIDI in, Impact, and then virtual controller. In this case, I like to put everything on all inputs. So I'm gonna put it on MIDI Omni, and I can set the record enable, but I'm not really worried about that, or I can open up the virtual controller. Advanced features, I can create a folder. I can do an instrument track per output, or I can do split instrument track. Split instrument track is when you want the tracks to be separated. So normally an instrument track is a combination of an audio and a MIDI track. If you want to actually see the MIDI track and the audio track separately, then you can do that. But when you create an instrument track, it pretty much combines them together. So I'm not really worried about doing that. So now if I want to create more tracks, I can go all the way up to, as many tracks as I want. I guess I can do as many as I want. So we're not going to do that many. All right. I never actually went up that far before. I thought it was going to stop. Let's just do 8 tracks. All right. And let's get some type of little project going here. So I'm going to create 8 tracks. I'm going to create a folder for it. And let's just say this whole thing is going to, actually, I don't even really need the folder. Now, if I was doing like specifically drums or bass or synth or whatever, I would put each of those into its own folder. But for this case, I'm not going to put it into its own folder because this is going to actually be the whole little groove song. And I really don't know what I'm going to make. So I'm just going to make this out the fly as I do most of these videos. All right, and here is what the actual module looks like when you pull it up. Now, you might notice that mine looks a little different than yours. Maybe yours is just straight gray. Mine has this little purple bar up here, but that's because I went on and edited my theme, which you can do to make everything look a little different. So anyway, all right, let's go through what's on here. First off, you cannot expand this. That's one thing I don't like about this particular program, and most of the programs like that on Cakewalk. I love the way they work, but you cannot expand them. But you can pin it down. So we can press the pin button, which is right here, and that will allow it to stay exactly where it is. So that way, if I'm working on some other stuff, or maybe I'm moving things around, this still stays there. You can edit each channel. There are 16 channels total. They are set default to piano. The reverb is set at 40. Pan is set straight in 0, and chorus is set at 0. Now you can affect these as much as you want. So naturally it's on chorus 3, but you can change this to whatever setting you want. You can use flanger, which is a really cool effect. You really got to check that out. I can adjust the feedback of it. I can adjust the rate, the depth. This is really cool if you really want to work with trying to get your reverb the correct time. Here's the system here. We can change the master tuning. You can also adjust the polyphony. It goes all the way up to 128, which is more than enough capable to allow you to do some things. Now, when you go to options, you get output assignment, and then you have other options. For output assignment, you'll see that it's got each of the channels, and it has a set where they are. It has a set to use multiple outputs. Now, I can change each of these channels to choose whatever output I want them to be on. But keep in mind, if I'm correct, that the effects only work on output 1. I don't think they work on output 2, 3, or 4. At the bottom, you'll see a preview button, looks like an 8th note that you can click on. You can tell that channel 10 in standard MIDI is always going to be a drum set. Now, you can go about changing these sounds just by clicking on the edit, and then it'll allow you to click on whatever you need. Now, I can preview it again. I can write. And I can save these. You can save patches as your own user normal. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and set up this piano, right? All right. Now I'm using my little MIDI keyboard to play it. Now I can already tell that something's not right. And you probably noticed it because you probably hear me pressing the keys, and you notice that the latency is not where it should be. If you have a problem like that, go up to driver settings and make sure that that buffer size is set to as fast as it can be, as fast as your system will allow. And I'm going to put mine about right there. Now, it's crazy because Cakewalk doesn't come with acoustic piano sound, but if you wanted to use acoustic piano, this is the one that you're going to be using, the TTS, unless you want to download something else that comes outside of Cakewalk. Now, you could definitely download any other plugin, but the TTS does have a great piano sound. Once again, you can tweak everything. So let's go to edit again. Piano 1 is set on that. If I want to change the sound, I left click with my mouse, go to preset, go to piano 1 stereo, piano 1D, piano 2. All right. And you can notice that now this one is stereo. All right. So sounds pretty good. You know, it's just a basic generic General MIDI keyboard or a piano sound. Now, let's see if I'm able to adjust some of these things because I have a problem with this. Every time I turn on this on and off switch for the characteristics, this section right here, some reason it never plays anymore. And I haven't figured out why it does that. So like if you have that on, oh, okay. Oh, I figured out something. So if you have this set at 0, you don't hear anything. Okay, now I know, and I've been dealing with this thing the whole entire time for over several, almost over 2 decades basically now since I've been using the software. But every time I came to TTS, I always had this problem where I could not use this section. So if you turn it on, you hear nothing, you know. Turn it off, you're good. But if you move the mids, then it seems like it kicked in. And then if I turn the highs up, now it works. And you can tell if I turn the bass down, it's got less bottom. Sorry, I keep trying to drag this around. I'm not trying to do that. Character. Okay, so you can kind of tell that it sounds more like a harpsichord now. Okay. All right, and see. Now it sounds like a banjo. All right, you turn the character down. Now it sounds like an upright bass. All right, so anything is it's definitely something to keep in mind, you all, that you can, okay, then you can turn it back. Characteristic, where was that? I can adjust the resonance. Ooh, sorry, that might have hurt your ear. I apologize for that. Now I can control my knobs. Okay, let's see, let's set it for cutoff. Okay, I've got my knobs that are on my impact, and actually I didn't even know that it was working. So a funny story, I probably talked about this before, but my daughter spilled some of my energy drink onto my keyboard. Don't worry, I didn't get too mad about it. I mean, I know this is just technology, and I did have my drink near my electronics, so never do that. Okay, I'm having a lot of fun with this, y'all, because I recently talked about being able to use the automation tool on Cakewalk, and this would be perfect for this because you'd be able to do this stuff with no problem, and that'd be really cool if you wanted to do it that way. All right, so anyway, we got the envelope, just attack. Okay, you notice you lower, the more attack you get. So you get more of those first onset notes. And then if you just attack all the way up and more swells in, this would be good for strings. So I just got an idea, and you're probably gonna think that I am crazy, but I'm gonna manipulate this one sound. Oh, I've said that a million times. I'm going to manipulate it so much that I can change the characteristics of the sound to record different parts. So you saw that I was able to get like something that sound like a synth or a string. I've got the piano sound, I've got like a banjo or guitar sound, and I've got like an upright bass sound. So I'm gonna use all of these, just this one sound, and I'm gonna make a beat with it. Or make a song with it rather, real quick. So, all right, let's check it out. Let's start with a, let's go back to my, let's set my attack back to where it was. All right, and the only thing I don't like about this one, normally in Cakewalk, you can just double click and it'll set everything back to 0. So you can do that with panning or, you know, volume or anything like that, the faders. But on this one, you have to literally take it back. I don't see a reset button right here. Also, oh, MIDI, let me talk about some of the other things that's on before we start recording, okay? You have variances of it. Like I said, you can save these. So once I adjust them, I can save them to each track, and I might go ahead and do that. So that way I can just go through and record it the way I need it. You can also adjust the chorus, reverb, and the pan right here. You can adjust the MIDI level of the volume fader. Or I could adjust the tuning down here, make it poly or monophonic. Poly means that you can play more than one note at one time. Monophonic means that you can only play one note at a time. So if you do play two notes right next to each other, it kind of like slides or swells to that note. Portamento, and the modulation, and some other things that are on here. All right, bear with me, you all. I am talking very fast, and I'm not trying to talk fast. I'm really trying to take my time doing this thing. So this is a video that you might hear all the flaws on, and it might be unedited because I need to make more things like this. I like making tutorials that are straight to the point, but some of my friends, some of my beginners, you know, and I got love for the beginners, I got love for the advanced and all the other levels in between. But some of you all are saying that I may be moving too fast or that I'm not showing everything. So I want to make sure that I'm doing that. Make sure that you understand exactly what I'm doing. All right, so right now I set everything back to 0. Keep in mind that if I turn the mids off, the mids is like the volume. I don't know why, but and if you turn it all the way off, it's gone. So you got to add at least some type of mids in there. Okay. All right. So this first sound, let's make this more of my bass sound. So I'm going to do. Yeah, baby. Huh? Yeah. Uh-oh, I just changed the tuning. I did that on accident. I did not mean to do that. Okay. Yeah, mid acts like a volume control. That's weird. Just to release a little bit more. Oops, I keep clicking on some other stuff. Sorry about that. And then I keep dragging the thing up. I'm trying not to do that. Okay, so you just release, it cuts off shorter. Same as decay. What do you think? You think that's cool for that sound? I can't even bend nothing. Let me see. Okay. All right. Let's keep the bass like that, okay? And then so exit, let's drag this, exit, where is this where I need to be? Right, hold on, right. Let's call this user normal. Okay. And then I could go, I think that's right. Then I can change the name of it, right? Can I change the name of it? Figure out where this is at. Yeah, let's call this bass. I think that's what it's gonna be. All right, and let me see. All right, cool. All right, and let's go to this, and this will, let's make this actual piano sound. And let's do that stereo piano 1. Okay, all right, let's see. This is the right thing. Okay, now hold on, right now I'm still playing the same thing I did before. That's right, because I'm on channel 1. But that's right, I can go ahead and adjust it. I gotta go here. All right, so yeah. Now let me go to this one, adjust this. This is still coming out of 1, 2 as well. So if I want to change the channels to these, this is what I'm gonna have to do. So since I have this one set up now and it's saved, this is the thing that you might want to do. Now it's up to you. You don't really have to do this, but if you want to just use one instrument and then route each of these MIDI tracks to that instrument, then you can separate it by channels, and you can definitely do that, which will definitely reserve more CPU and memory. But in this case, I did not do that, so I created tracks, instrument tracks for each of these. So if I want to go ahead and separate these, split the tracks. So you go to right click on the number, whatever number it is, go to split instrument, And then it's going to make a MIDI and an audio of that. All right. Now, once you have that actually set up for your output, then you can go to the left, look on the where it says MIDI channel, and you want to set that to channel 2. In this case, the reason I'm setting it to channel 2 is because my first one, my channel 1 or track 1 is already set to channel 1. So I want this set to channel 2. And then I'm going to adjust the, what is called the bank. The bank is going to be like the main source of where the instruments are coming from. So in this case, if I was using the presets, be 0 through 9 or 0 through preset rhythm. But since I'm going to be using user normal, I'm going to do user normal. And then I'm going to do channel. I can't do this one. It's going to be this one right here. So when I play it now, it's my normal sound. And you'll notice that when I click back on that module, that it's now, if I click on track 2, it's coming out of channel 2. And you can see this one says bass. Okay, and this one says 2. Piano 1. So I can go ahead and readjust that piano 2 as well if I want to. So I'm going to change the sound because it really should be the piano stereo. Stay with me. I'm going to actually save this. All right, I got stereo. Okay, it is touch sensitive, which is really good. I think I want to make the attack a little lower. I'm gonna make the cutoff. Okay, all right. So if I like that, I can go ahead and write that, and then I'm writing that to piano 1, which is 2, and then it's going to overwrite it. And then I can name it again, and I can say, actually, I'm just going to leave it there. That's fine. Let's try it again. All right. Got it. All right, let's add the bass in. Now, one thing I should have mentioned is that if you do use the same instrument, you only get 128 polyphonies. So that means that you can only play 128 notes at the same time. So if you notice you start to get some cutoff or something like that, then you might want to just actually create another module. But I'm just going to use it for these 2 tracks, and then I can go around and doing some other things. When you're dealing with general MIDI for drums, you can actually just click on the track, go to MIDI, go to the channel. All right, and I'll put it on channel 10. I'm going to put it on preset rhythm. I'll set it to standard set. Okay. And I'm ready to record it. Let's do it. All right. Okay, I can quantize that, press Q, 16ths. There we go. If I didn't like that TTS sound, I can change the, okay, I could try this one, the room set, see what that sounds like. And if they all sound the same, then I can go ahead and just change the actual. All right, so on that one, the bass drum sounds a little different. And maybe I want to put on jazz set. Okay, and I can go around. I can switch where I want them to be. Oh, that's different. Wow, look at that jazz kit. That's pretty. I've never seen it named like that before. That was different. All right, so I know that this is my jazz kick and this is my electric snare, but maybe I don't want it there. All I gotta do is just drag it down, highlight it. Okay, let's try that. All right, and it's just something as simple as that. Now, I would go and expand more on this, and maybe I'll finish the beat. So if you like this video, let me know in the comments. Should I go ahead and finish this? I'm going to do a little bit more mingling with that piano sound, so I really want to create a beat just using that piano sound. But I did throw some regular drums in. Just so you can get the hang of how TTS works. If you want to see more about TTS, because there's still some parts that I didn't talk about, definitely like this video and feel free to comment. I love comments. And if you like content like this dealing with Cakewalk by Bandlab tutorials and things of that such, definitely smash the subscribe button and kick the notification bell in the face. That way you're notified every time that I post new content. I love you all. See you later.